Hi everybody, I'm Sean and I am at the Leica store San Francisco today, and I have an interesting unboxing to do with you guys today. This giant box is what you're not typically going to see. This is the L1 Leica watch. These, as you probably will see them moving forward, will be called the ZM1 and the ZM2. This is one of the early ones. It's an L1, and they also have the L2. The L1 is the standard watch, and the L2 is the GMT. And what's interesting about this is it comes in a giant box, and I don't think this giant box is meant to be distributed to retailers. This is the master carton where it's distributed from the manufacturer to Leica, New Jersey, and we just happened to get one that was absolutely complete. So we're going to unbox this thing from scratch and check it out. Now this thing is sealed unusually. It actually has a pull tape right here. You can see that or not. And it has a really generic black and white label. And this is completely sealed. So I'm not going to do the pull tape because I don't want to destroy the box. I'm going to destroy it in less of a destructive fashion by just cutting it open. So let's just do that real quick here so we can get inside and see what's in here. And I like to preserve as much of this as possible because you never know when it's going to be important. So I've got that opened up. I'll flip it open. This is a little awkward. We've got bubble wrap. We've got the watch box, and this is typically what you're going to see if you pick one of these up at one of the Leica stores. And I've got this piece in here, and everything else is just bubble wrap, so we're going to take that and set that to the side. So this is the packaging you're typically going to see, and if you notice, there's no label on it, which is unusual. And then this is the packaging that you're not going to get to see typically. And I'm going to try and carefully open this up. Resort to cutting the tape. Sorry I'm using a box opener today. I flew up here this morning. I didn't get to bring one of my cool pocket knives, so I feel a little naked, but at least I've got a tool. Okay. So this is what I kind of consider the hidden excitement of this unboxing. So I've got the watch in non-typical packaging, and I've got a label that's missing from the outside of the box. It hasn't even been applied to the box yet. That's how I know this is not meant for dealers. This is meant for distributor level. And I've got this guy, which doesn't appear to be sealed in any way. Let's pop it open. Here's our all-important warranty cards. We'll look at those in a minute. And I've got the watch in here. What's really cool about this packaging, you can't really see it, but there's a plastic membrane in here which suspends the watch, and it doesn't touch anything inside the box, and it holds it fast for shipment. So this is a really kind of a cool box. So this is the watch. It's got the protective wrap on it, as most nice watches do. Got the open back, so you can see all the goodies inside. So I'm going to set this down for a second. Let's explore the retail packaging. Slip this open. And this opens up in familiar fashion. If you've ever bought a Leica camera, you know that the petals come open and allow you to see what's underneath. And then this is the actual watch box. And these are pretty special. This is not quite your typical watch box. We'll get that lid off, and then again the petals come down, and you've got your Pyrex Dome in here. This is a microfiber cloth. I'm not going to take that out. I want to keep that factory fresh. Lights Wetzlar. This just tells you a little bit about the watch. And then this is the handbook. So this is the manual that tells you about the functions and how to set the watch. It's pretty standard for the watch industry. And then I've got these warranty cards here, which we set down a minute ago. So this one is number 166. So it's still a relatively low production number. Not a lot of these have been made yet. This is interesting because the warranty cards show this as the new model number, the ZM1, and the packaging shows it as an L1. So that's a nice little contradiction. I think that makes it more interesting. And you've got the chronometer certification in here. I'm going to slip this back into the envelope and put it in the box where it goes. Of course, in Leica fashion, we've got spots for everything to be tucked into. Now, this is really cool. I'm going to put this away. So this is the Pyrex Dome that you can use to store your watch when you're not wearing it. It keeps it nice and dust-free. And it's real glass, unscrews, and it actually has a metal threaded base to it. And then this watch stand is metal as well. You've got the Lights Wetzlar logo on the bottom. And I'm just going to unwrap this watch to show you how it goes on here because this is really cool. Now, if I remember correctly, I think these, well, I have to look again. I think I read an early memo where these bands were sourced out of a craftsman in Paris, but it may not be the case on the watches they're actually shipping right now. I'll have to look up on that. So we'll slip this in, and then if I pinch these, I can slip this right onto here. And it's a little challenging to do upside down. So that is how this watch is going to fit, like that. And this is typically, if you go into a Leica store and you collect one of these, pick one of these up, this is how you're going to see it when you get it. It's already going to be assembled in the case here. Now, one really cool thing I learned about this stand I didn't see the last time I played with this outfit is that the base is a bayonet base and it's an M mount. So I thought that was really cool. I guess if you wanted to put your Noctilux in here and store it in the Pyrex Dome, you could do that when you were wearing your watch. Let's go through the watch itself real quick. And I'm just checking because the warranty card said ZM1. I really wanted to see what the watch said. So the watch actually says L1 on the back. It says Leica L1, serial number 00166. So it's a very late, early model, I guess. Maybe we call that a transitional model in the watch world. So this is a really simple function. I can depress the top button and that sets my date. I depress the button here and the dot goes from white to red and now it's in setting mode. And then I just turn the dial until I set the correct time. I'll run this around to make sure that, okay, there my date just clicked over to the 23rd. And I've got my German Damasco DC86 here, Mark II, and it says it's 6 minutes after 5. Okay, so I've got my time setting finished. I'm going to press that back in. It goes to white. And then I'm going to wind this guy up, which I probably should have done in the first place. It's getting there. There's a window here that exposes from black to white as it's powered up. And it's almost full. Now, another cool feature about this watch is when you depress this in to set the time, you notice the seconds go to 0. So it has a hacking function. So if you've got an atomic clock register, you can set this very precisely. So you can dial in your time, you set it back to activation, and then the seconds kicks off. Now this is the L1. They do make an L2, which looks pretty much identically the same. I've got one here that we already unboxed. And this guy has another dial over here, or another setting point. So if you notice, the bezels of these are slightly different. The watch basically has the same look. There's a inside adjustable bezel on this one, which you use to set your GMT. So if I want to say I'm on German time, which I'm not sure what time it is in Germany right now, but I pull this out, and then I'm able to rotate that inner bezel to set the time that I want. It's 5:10. I'm going to set it to New York time because I know what time it is in New York. So I'll just spin this over till the 8 lines up with 5. I'll push that in and I'm set. There is a day-night function right below the white activated mode over here. And this one is fully wound. You can see that the power reserve indicator is fully white. So that's the two watches. Now I'm curious on this one if this one says L2 on it. So this one does say L2. This is serial number 261. And interestingly enough, the warranty cards for this one do say L2. So that's something we noted earlier. I'm gonna set this guy back. One thing I like about this watch, it's fairly understated. Has a nice black dial. It's got easy to read hands. It's not a small watch, which lends to its legibility. And but being not a small watch, it's also not overly chunky or thick. It's just a really nice size. It really wears well. It doesn't feel heavy on the wrist. And then if you get a chance, we'll maybe do a close-up of the skeleton ice back. But the workmanship on the movement is just beautiful. It's a really wonderful timepiece. Now, one thing I do see on this is that they have incorporated a quick change feature to the straps. So the pin actually has a little knob on it here, much like the back on an M6 has a little knob on it where you can pull the pin back and then flip the back off. Well, this is kind of set up the same way with the straps. So the straps are going to be very easy to change without damaging your lugs, which is really nice. You know what we should do? We really should put that sticker on the box. Let's put this box back together just for a second. Now, we're going to cover up that barcode. I've got my hash marks here so I know exactly where to position them outside the box, and we're just going to stop the phone from ringing and peel this off and put it on there. Get it fairly centered on there pretty well. That's something you don't get to do every day. Well, that's it for my unboxing of the L1 watch, which we have here alongside the L2. And these are available immediately in Leica stores nationwide. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out with me, and have a great day.